Hello, and welcome to another video. It is me again, the fragrance enjoyer, and in today's video, we will be talking for the first time on this channel about the house of Bvlgari. Specifically, I will be covering their one of the latest releases called Empyr. So, if you want to learn more about the house itself and the fragrance, please stay tuned. Now, it has been a long week, so grab a coffee, relax, and let's get into this review. So this is a 2021 release from the House of Bvlgari, and it is, at least what I found so far, it's very difficult to find any worthwhile review on YouTube when it comes to this fragrance. Most of the reviews just state the notes, but they don't really tell you how it smells like or what it compares to, what the performance is, when you can wear it and so on. So I want to focus on all of that today. But then at the end, I also want to touch a little bit or speak a bit about the company itself, because I found that there's a lot of beautiful gems, pun intended, in the LeGemme collection, but they're not necessarily doing their best to showcase what they're doing with this collection. So I also want to cover that too. So let's get into this. Let's start off with the box. So they all come in the same box with the different outer shell. If you remove the outer shell, you will see that it looks like this, which is pretty decent box. Then if you lift it up, it will essentially expose the fragrance itself. Now, the bottle of these fragrances will remain the same. The only difference is the top, which is the most beautiful part of the fragrance anyway. So this is kind of represents the gemstone that the collection is based upon, hence the pun from earlier, La Gemme, gems, right? And yeah, I think it's a very unique, very beautiful bottle. I think it's very interesting to see when a brand comes up with a concept and is able to realize the concept in this way. So amazing bottles, very sparkly finish on top. So it's very good. But let's take a closer look together. So as you see, very beautiful bottle, very heavy bottle as well. This comes in at 0.535 grams, I believe, when it's full. So you cannot really see through the bottle. But what you can do with these bottles is you can screw this one out, essentially. So if you just screw it out, it will, if you shine a flashlight in, you will be able to see how much juice is inside. Magnetic cap, as you've heard so far, very good, very heavy. I think if someone breaks into your home and you need a weapon to defend yourself, this one will do some serious damage. So very heavy, very good bottle. So that's, I guess, good to know. This was a blind buy for me, because I am a big fan of Jacques Cavalier, and I also know a couple of other fragrances from this brand. So as an example, I have Targar, which I covered in my vibrato review video, which you can see up here. So if you missed that one, check it out. So I have Targar, beautiful fragrance, one of the best. Actually, this is the fragrance that has put the whole line on the map. So Targar, amazing. Then another from this collection, Gyan. I don't know if you guys know this one. Let me know in the comments. But this is a masterpiece. Beautiful, beautiful gem. I think one of the best tops in this collection. From there it kind of went downhill, because I also have Ambero. I also have Falcar. I also have Malekos. And I also have Onek. So as you can see, it kind of escalated quickly when it comes to this collection. But in this video, I will be obviously focusing on this bad boy here. So let's talk about the scent itself. So as I said in the beginning, 2021 release. This one is a citrus, fresh, spicy, woody fragrance. And if you look at the note breakdown, it's very simple. Essentially, in the opening, what you're getting with this one is ginger and orange. In the mid and the base, you're getting sandalwood. And only in the base, you are also getting introduced to musks. So it's a very simple fragrance when it comes to the note breakdown. Scent-wise, it is also very, very simple. This is a familiarity with that you will find with most of the line. So not all of them, to be honest, but most of the fragrances actually, which is kind of a curse and a blessing. Some of them are essentially so simple and sophisticated that you cannot really go wrong with getting them. Other ones are kind of more complex and just weird in some ways. So you really have to pick and choose when it comes to the Bvlgari lineup, at least in my opinion. Now with this one, what's interesting to know about this one as well is there are only 9 users on Parfumo that own this one, so not a lot of people have actually tried and smelled this one, and not so many people own it, right? So let's dive into the smell. So what you're getting with this one, as soon as you spray, is a beautiful combination of ginger and orange, and to me this is the star of this fragrance. So you're getting a L'Immensité ginger in the opening mixed with a sweet orange, and as soon as that is starting to subside, the sandalwood will kick in. Now the sandalwood in this one is very, very similar to Au Hasard from Louis Vuitton, but it is a bit more mild. So it's a bit more musky, because obviously there's musk in the dry down as well. So it's a bit more musky. It's not as harsh. It doesn't grip you as much as the Au Hasard one does from Louis Vuitton. And then in the bottom, they introduced a beautiful musk that's going to act as a fixative to this fragrance and give it insane longevity. So all of these fragrances will last you at least 8 to 9 hours without any problems at all, with pretty good projection as well, depending on the fragrance, of course. For this one specifically, I found it lasts easily 8 hours. You can catch whiffs of it with no issue at all. Now, the issue with this fragrance for me is that, to put it in perspective how it actually smells when you take the notes aside, is that you are getting L'Immensité in the opening with sweet orange. Then you're getting the Au Hasard dry down added with musk. Now, is this appealing to me? No. To be honest, not really. This one doesn't blow me away at all. I think the opening is nice, but then I would rather take the L'Immensité opening because it's more fresher and it's more sparkly and gingery. I also had Au Hasard, but I sold it because I just hated how it smells. So if you want to smell like you're in a lumber mill, essentially like a very dry, old lumber mill, then you might like Au Hasard. And if that combination together with ginger and orange seems to float your boat, then please try this one. But in my case, this one will be a pass and will be departing the La Familia soon. It's essentially Jacques Cavalier kind of rehashing what he did previously for Louis Vuitton, to be honest, and trying to improve on it. Now I find that it is improved when it comes to the Au Hasard part, so the base and the mid are improved, but the top essentially doesn't really work as well as I thought it would, even though it's nice. But if you have as many perfumes as I do, you have to make sure that the perfume you're getting fits the collection and has its own place, unless you're simply collecting for the value of collecting, which is not the case for me. So for me, I think if you want to focus on this collection, you might be better off looking at the earlier releases from Bvlgari. I will probably review a few. I'm thinking about doing a house review instead of doing one video for every fragrance. But there are definitely a lot of them that are great, and some of them are just very suboptimal, let's say. But yeah, so again, for this one, I think if you like it, if you like what I've described, then you can definitely try it out if you can even get your hands on it. But other than that, I think this is a safe pass from me. To finish off this video, I wanted to talk a little bit about the house itself, because I think they're not necessarily doing a service to the fragrances that are actually good, and I'm just taking a couple of the good ones out, because these fragrances are a step up when it comes to pricing compared to Louis Vuitton. So you can actually buy 2 Louis Vuitton fragrances for almost the same price as you can get these ones for. Rumor has it that Bvlgari is going to increase the prices over the summer, so they're going to get even more expensive, I would assume, because Louis Vuitton also raised the prices on their fragrances, and it's all owned by LVMH, so it makes sense that they will increase their prices as well. But the main difference I find between these two houses is that this one is way more exclusive. And when I say exclusive, I don't mean exclusive when it comes to the good part of the word. I mean it's difficult to find. So where I live, you cannot even try any of these, right? So there's no way you can try any of these fragrances in any store. I even went to the Bvlgari boutique, nothing, right? So they don't really have them in a store. So what you're stuck with is essentially buying from people that can sell you decants, or doing the same as I did and just blind buying most of them, which is of course not the best thing to do, as I don't like many of the fragrances from the line, so I will probably have to resell them and let them go at some point. But for now, I think the main criticism I have for Bvlgari is that it's making its life harder than it has to be. It should adopt essentially the same strategy that Louis Vuitton is doing. So if you go to the actual boutique, you want to try out some of the jewelry or whatever they're selling, you should be essentially able to try out some of these bad boys in the store, because some of them are actually worth the money. I think they have one of the best perfumers in the world right now working for them under the LVMH umbrella, so they can use that. And if you take a look at Louis Vuitton, essentially there's a hype with pretty much every single fragrance that Louis makes, so they should be able to do that as well. The bottle design of this allows, as I mentioned, for this to be unscrewed, so they should be also refillable, the same as Louis is, which will then again also increase the value of the fragrance. It will also be a shame to have to buy a whole new bottle if you want to have another one of their fragrances. So I think they should just reuse the formula that works for Louis Vuitton. They have all the tools necessary. They have the good scents. They have a great perfumer. They have amazing bottles. They have a good story behind those bottles. Again, so as I said, this line is worth checking out if you have the chance to do so. I know for a fact they have these in the Bvlgari store in Paris. So if you're living next to Paris or in Paris, you can check it out. Other than that, good luck finding them. I think it's very difficult. And if you have any questions about any of the lineup from Bvlgari, if you want to know how it smells, I tried all of them and I have most of them. The only one I'm still trying to get is Apollon, which is very similar to this one, but I have already done a review of this one. So if you missed the review of Sansong, check the description or my channel. If you have any questions about the lineup, if you have any questions about Empyr specifically, let me know. And if you have all of these, if you like some of these, if one of them is your favorite, also let me know. I'm curious to hear what you guys are saying. And other than that, I wish you a good one.